Ladies and gentlemen, my Nakama, buckle your seatbelts because shit just got real. I'm talking, of course, about the Arc 5 leaks that just came out today. Now, if you don't already know, check out Duel Meta. I'm not going to be reading every single card that got leaked, but effectively, we have been informed what cards are going to be gate drops, like day one most likely, and we have 4 characters that might be coming out on day 1, which is absolutely wild to me. But aside from that, each of them has 1 card at least that I think is worth mentioning. So here we go. I'm just gonna dive straight in. In the case of Yuya, he's got Odd Eyes Lancer Dragon. If a Pendulum monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you contribute 1 monster you control and special summon this card from your hand. If this card attacks, your opponent can't activate spells or traps until the end of the damage step. Now, this is just a really interesting card. It's good because Pendulums, you know, they're getting destroyed all the time. Some of them destroy themselves with their own effects. So that's really good. If an Odd Eyes card you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, destroy 1 Odd Eyes card in your hand or your monster zone or your Pendulum zone instead, so you can pop a Pendulum monster when this card would be destroyed. I think it's just good Odd Eye support in particular. Not exactly generic, but it can work. Here's the actual card I wanted to mention for Yuya. Doomstar Magician. Once per turn, you can discard 1 card, then target 1 card in either player's Pendulum zone, destroy that card, and if you do, draw 1 card. Now this is generic, right? For any deck that wants to be discarding cards to the graveyard and also wants to Pendulum summon, this could be a great addition to any given deck. The only problem is it's a monster that you have to normal summon in order to use its effect, so preferably you would put this in a deck that doesn't need its normal summon. I'm thinking that anything that can use certain combos like Stick and Chair, so Dark Magician, Dark Lords probably won't be Pendulum summoning, but you get my point, is that this is a decent card effect. I thought that it was worth mentioning. I think it might be enjoyable to use, but to be honest, it's a card that was leaked that I'm the least excited about. Zuzu Boil. I find a few of her cards interesting. The most interesting one to me is Score the Melodious Diva. It's ridiculous to me that this is going to be a free card. This is basically their Bujingi Crane. I don't know much about Melodious cards, but like maybe this makes a meta because during damage calculation, that is a point in time where most cards cannot react. I don't believe you can use Chalice, you can't use Lance. Bouncer couldn't negate it. I mean, I doubt Bouncer would be able to negate it anyway. I don't think Arvada can negate it either. Like, it's just such a late phase in what is the battle process of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links and Yu-Gi-Oh! In general that most effects will not be able to respond to or stop this. So during damage calculation on either player's turn, if a Melodious monster you control battles an opponent's monster, send this card from your hand to the graveyard. It's a hand trap. That opponent's monster's attack and defense both become 0 until the end of this turn. This is not a targeted effect, and this is not a card effect that most cards would be able to respond to. That is so freaking good. That is so freaking good. Like I'm excited to see what next comes from Melodious. Melodii. The Melodious archetype, right? Because that is just fire. In my opinion anyway, that is just fire. Gong Strong. He's bringing Super Heavy Samurai support, and this is what I think is the most interesting. Super Heavy Samurai Soul Bang Cannon. Now, you can target 1 Super Heavy Samurai monster you control, equip this monster from your hand or your side of the field to it, and it gains 1000 defense. Cool, easy, standard. We have similar cards to this. What else does it do? Well, Super Heavy Samurai are all about graveyard effects, and what this does in the graveyard is, during either player's battle phase, when your opponent activates an effect, it doesn't have to be monster, spell, or trap. If they activate anything during the battle phase of either player's turn, you can negate that activation and then destroy it. Not only that, you can then, without targeting, destroy as many monsters on the field as possible. Right? That just a complete field wipe, and then both players take 1000 damage. I'm assuming that'll be 500. It might be, it might not be. Doesn't really matter. That's a decent effect. Now, some obvious problems. You can only negate in the battle phase. If your opponent activates their effects during the main phase, this card cannot do anything, and I think that's its biggest weakness. However, it's still a board wipe in certain situations, and if people don't read, they're gonna fall right into this. I actually really like this card. And just as a heads up, in case you don't know, the Super Heavy Samurai boss monster Stealth Ninja comes back from the graveyard on the next standby phase if it's destroyed by either player's card effect, so it's not a disadvantage to you, effectively. Not to mention, this basically takes away any fear you might have had of battle traps of any shape and or form to become, like, you already couldn't be drowning Mirror Force, but like, now nothing can hurt you. It also means your opponent can't activate hand traps. It's just really, really good. I really, really like this card. Last up is Silvio Sawatari. Now, the one card of his that I find to be interesting is Mayo Senju Hitot, whatever his name is. It's a Pendulum monster. It's got a scale of, is that a 5? No, that's a 3. Its Pendulum effect says that you can target one Yosenju card in your Pendulum zone, and until the end of this turn, that card's scale becomes 11. Now, it doesn't say target one other Yosenju card in your Pendulum zone. If I'm not mistaken, it can do this to itself. And then, obvious restriction, you can't special summon monsters other than Yosenjus for the rest of this turn. Now, during your end phase, return this card to the hand. You can only activate each effect of this once per turn. So, what this is effectively saying is, if you have another Yosenju monster in a different Pendulum zone that has a scale of 1 or 2, you can boost this card up or you can boost that card up to 11 and give you the ability to summon anything in between those two levels. Levels 3 to 10, just Pendulum summon onto the field. And if I'm not mistaken, this card's level is 10, so if you have one of these on the field as a Pendulum monster and another one in the hand, you get to special summon it for free. Now, its monster effect says that if it gets special summoned, you can target one card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. So I really, really like this card. So yeah, those are the leaked cards that I personally find the most interesting. Let me know what you think about them down below, how you're feeling, if you're hyped. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed, consider liking and subscribing because we're going to be talking about a lot of Arc 5 stuff when it comes out. Have a wonderful day. I love you. Bye.